let's tune into a very important conversation. In fact, we caught up with Dr. B.K. Das, DG ECS Electronics and Communication System, DRDO. This is a very important conversation. Let's go across and listen into a slice of that conversation.
Let me start by just understanding what is happening right now. And I'm going to start straight with Project Sudarshan Chakra. This is something that Prime Minister spoke about in the 15th August speech. We have seen what happened with Operation Sindoor, etc. How has that now shaped the way we approach defense research? And let's start with your views on how India can build an anti-missile system.
Okay, I mean, if I look at where we are today, every nation needs to protect its sovereignty, its assets, its systems. That's the best part of the defense. And if we need to do that, the very first thing is we have to be alert. And the alert aspect comes from surveillance. So we should have certain long-range sensors to have a proper surveillance of all our areas around. And the idea in any kind of a protection is the fastest you get to know, and the time is the win. So if you know the things better and faster, you should be able to have your plans and strategies well. So India has led forward, not today, it's quite some time back we thought about our air defense program, that against any attack, what kind of a high precision systems we can make, which will be able to counterattack and protect the nation. So in this regard, our detections, our tracking, surveillance, and the missile systems we have been prepared with. So that's one aspect of air defense if you look at. But the best part of air defense is into three aspects. First comes the surveillance. The second comes the detection. The third comes the tracking. The fourth comes the identification, that whether it is a friend or a foe. And the moment you have the identification, you should plan the counterattack for neutralizations. These are the 5 layers of air defense any country has. So India in general and DRDO in particular have done quite a bit of an investment on the research in this special domain. Lots and lots of technologies are involved in all these 5 aspects which I explained to you. To start with the surveillance, detection and tracking through the radars, the long range radars, which as you are aware, India, we have got the powerhouse of radar in one lab called LRD and the industries together. So we are able to make long range radars, high precision radars, which can track multiple targets from very farther ranges. And after that, we can have a very high precision tracking, detection, identification. And apart from radar, we use certain other means like electro-optics, infrared imagery, and various other physics to identify such targets. Once we identify such targets, we need to define its identification of a friend or foe. We have got built-in artificial intelligence, our knowledge base, our hardcore software, which our engineers have developed, scientists have designed, that we are able to classify and identify this as an attack target. Not only that, we can further predict its velocity, its point of impact, and future course of action, based on which we have got the counter-attack mechanism. The counter-attack could be for a long-range missiles, which we have designed a number of them, or intermediate-range missiles based on the attack location, or it could be the electronic warfare systems wherein we do the soft killing by high-powered microwave and jamming of the signals, that is called soft kill. And finally, if it comes closer by for any reasons or if it is just short targets, then we have got the laser level directed energy weapon to counter-attack with a pinpoint attack and firing. So this is the various layered defense attacks which we have got, and of course the final level is always our attacks and the guns. So with this all multi-layer of attack, we can detect, we can identify, we can classify, we can define it, either it is attack or a friendly, based on which the neutralize. So all these technologies in various forms by our multiple laboratories of DRDO, they have worked. And the entire industry belt of Indian defense sectors, both PSUs as well as private sectors, are fully geared up. They have taken our TOTs to realize such systems. Yes. And in totality, in various bits and pieces, the models have been developed, integrated, and in various forms it has been deployed. And today, lots and lots of research is going on in this particular field, how to have very high strength algorithms, high cognition algorithms, more signal processing, intensive evaluations,
Yes.
and more powerful radar and missiles for precision attack.
Dr. Das, give us a sense of how much of this is indigenous, developed by Indian scientists, how much of this is contributing by the private sector, and how much of it is something that we depend on our trading partners on or with?
Okay, let me tell you. Generally, this entire concept is 100% Indian concept. We have all thought, we have all planned, and we have executed. The design of the entire system is Indian. The entire algorithm, the development, the basic hardware design, the implementations, the entire thing is done by DRDO. But however, when we do the design, we take it up to prototyping level. We test it in the lab, we test it in the field. And through the industries, Indian industries I'm specifically saying, which comes through our general process of competition, and they realize in multiple numbers such systems through their systems and our design and all the protocols and every system design being Indian, we make the systems out. But having said that, there are certain core level dependencies will always be there. I think every country needs that. We cannot have indigenizations to the grassroots level to that extent. Let us say if you talk about basic processors or FPGA, if you talk about certain chips, certain SRUs, some basic blocks are always maybe certain detectors. Some few things are there which definitely comes out. But mostly end to end the system is designed, developed and designed and delivered by the Indian industries through Indian brain through DRDO.
What is the contribution of the private sector? I mean, one big story that we've been tracking, of course, is a business channel as well, about how the private sector has really come of age in terms of India's defense capabilities. Do you see this growing? Any light that you can throw upon this, Dr. Das? And of course, I'm not probing you too much because you know what you can talk about and what you can't.
No, it's absolutely all right. I can definitely answer this. I tell you, it's an exponential growth into the private sector, that much I can tell you. Yes, there was a time we were importing, then there is a time came when the defense PSUs were the leaders because of their background, because of their infrastructures, because of their strength and depth and bandwidth, that they are able to implement the DRDO design and develop and deliver in numbers, whether it is Bell, BDL, HL, all that numbers. But today, the scenario has changed. And we're very happy to see the private sectors have come up in a big way to invest their time, money, effort in the defense productions, in the defense design, in the defense first implementation itself. If you talk about the mid-segment industries, the SMEs, and if you talk about the startups, the small-scale industries, all of them have got a desire to come into the defense. There are people who are the public investors, they are also coming in a big number when the target happens to be the defense. The entire country, 1.45 billion people, the dream has come up today, the trust has come up today that a design done by DRDO, the implementation done by industries is going to create a big revolutions in the international defense market. Now that's the precise reason even the small industries, the startups are coming out with some excellent ideas. You'll be very thrilled to know there are certain very challenging technologies which otherwise we were struggling, we were designing, we were trying to see how to implement it. Some small, young, 20, 25 years kids, they come forward to us taking those challenges, they realize those systems, and we are surprised pleasantly to see that they are going beyond our expectations, and that comes as an integrations to our main systems. So if you look at whether startups, whether MSMEs, or even the big players of private, they have all come up in a big way to work for us and develop. And of course, in a process of acquisition, as you know, we go for our process. In that process, private players are able to win in a big numbers. And today, there is a good balance of private versus public sectors when it especially comes to electronics, to missiles. You'll be happy to know many of the private players have taken the TOT and DCPP of missiles. That is development cum production partnership, the concept which DRDO has built up these days, that whenever we take a new design, new project, we involve the industry at the design stage itself. That is a absolute new thinking of DRDO in last couple of years, and that has created a really revolutions in the design world in the private sectors. When under the DCPP they come forward, they are young engineers, they come and work with us, and practically there is no difference. I mean, one set of young engineers come and work with a brand of scientists, other set of young engineers get into private, third get into public. We are all engineers, we are all scientists. We have the brain to work for the country, and we have the same passion, same heartbeat to work for our nation. So that whole unity comes out in the absolute seamless way. And in our laboratories, we work together hand in gloves with different people from the private sectors, from public sectors as a team, and we design and develop together. So later on, when we go for production as a part of DCPP, things becomes much faster. When they go to scale up in the number, when they are going to meet the surge capability meeting.
What are some of the companies that you are working with?
See, there are different companies. Yeah, I can tell you, if we look at some big players, Tata, L&T, Adani's, they have come in a very, very big way to invest in the defense and they are working with us. Then the next level, if it goes to the radars and other applications, it is going to be Astra Microwave, Data Patterns, Coral, Mistral. I mean, the list is endless. If I talk about, it's in 30, 40, 50 such groups of industries are coming forward to work with us.
Wow. So that's a fascinating insight into how robust this industry is becoming. You know, the idea of India becoming a defense exporter, I think even 5-10 years ago would have seemed like, how can that even happen? Do you think we're moving towards that reality now?
Let me tell you, that's a very, very important part for our country. Today we are one of the leaders in the economy. So we were in 10th, we are in 7th, we are in 5th, we are in 3rd. These figures are going up and up and up. Now this happens in regards to our Honorable Prime Minister, sir, the mission which they have given us, Atmanirbhar Bharat. I think that word has really created a thrill, kill and the jill among entire community of scientific manpower that we all have to deliver our 100% to live up to our Prime Minister's expectations. Now, no export is possible unless first use it within our own country. And today, I'm so thankful to our armed forces, the trust which has come in DRDO, in defense products, in indigenous defense design and production, that they are able to fight a war with our weapon. It's not an easy thing to think of. War is a thing where there is no runners-up. Either you are champion or you perish. And when such kind of an attack a person wants to do, trusting our weapon, that creates a phenomenal trust within all of us. And with that as a development, today we are able to develop some phenomenal production units, and those systems have shown its power in the recent conflicts. And even before, I tell you, 5 years back, the kind of exports which are roughly about 25,000 crores, if I name about defense export, I'm not very good at statistics, of course, but today, within 2029, within 5 years, we are targeting for 50,000 crore, literally a double. Double in 5 years for the export is not a small thing to happen in any country. And that shows more than the value, that shows the trust. See, a foreign country has got options to buy systems across the world. Now, when they are selecting an Indian product across rest, it speaks a volume about what India is and what Indian products are. I think it is just a number. The days ahead, India is going to be the leader in one of the exports of the defense arms and ammunition and technologies for abroad.
You know, that is so heartening to hear. Now, earlier in this conversation, Dr. Das, you made a passing mention on the use of artificial intelligence in how we are developing our technologies. And of course, this is the forefront of the conversation in every sector. Just wanted to know a little bit more about how you are seeing the role of artificial intelligence and how we can set up enough guardrails in something as sensitive and crucial as defense.
Let me tell you, this is absolutely a crucial part of my plans. Someday I had mentioned that any country, if he wants to be world leader, he has to have a class style. When I say class, the C stands for the combat capability and communication, and L stands for lethality. A stands for artificial intelligence with autonomous system, and then S stands for system of systems, and the S again stands for stealth. So this is my expansion of class, and the center of class is A, which is called artificial intelligence. See, today the world is going for autonomous systems. The future warfare is going to be absolutely autonomous, and the only difference between a man and the machine is the intelligence and the feeling. So today, the kind of the data sets which we have, the kind of the data which we have gathered over the years, and the kind of Indian brain which is the best in the world today, India is going to be the AI leaders in the world. The reason being, no AI system can work if we don't have data. And India is one country which has got the volume of the data. And of course, the intelligence at its peak with the Indian brain. So today in DRDO, we are driving AI as our soul of the products. Whether you talk about the tank, whether you talk about the AWNCs, you talk about our missiles, you talk about our cognitive radars, you talk about photonic systems, you talk about cyber intelligence, in all of them put together, the core is going to be artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is no more a status symbol or a showpiece. The years to come, AI is going to be the lifeline for a warfare, and India is going to be one of the leaders in that. Lots and lots of work is going on. We have got a young scientist lab who is exclusively working on artificial intelligence, and wonderful products have come from there. And every lab, we have got a dedicated lab called CARE, Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. And incidentally, every DRDO lab has a mandate. There is an exclusive AI group. So every product which DRDO is going to develop, there has to be an AI in it. Without that, the product does not exist.
So what are the guardrails? Like I asked, what are the guardrails for artificial intelligence? Because this is something that every industry needs to fix, and defense is extremely sensitive. Also, if this is going to become a battle of AI, how do we ensure that we protect our key assets?
See, this is very, very important aspect. See, today cyber is going to be the most critical factor. Even the future is going to be the cyber war. So the protection of our assets, protection of our data, we have got our critical infrastructures, we have got our protection mechanisms, we have got our SOPs, we have got our set processes, and that itself has been built with a lot of intelligence with it, which is going to protect our systems against any future attacks. And having said that, things are changing, processes are evolving, and we are in an absolute dynamic world. So the process of yesterday is no more valid today, and the software of today is going to be obsolete tomorrow. And change is the only constant thing which is going to happen in future, and the fastest and the dynamic change and adoption of the change to have the best of the technologies is going to be the determinations for the war winning. And India is absolutely flexible so far as these technologies are concerned, and we are all geared up to be prepared for such change to protect our systems.
Very, very illuminating conversation. Thank you so much, Dr. V.K. Das, for taking out the time and speaking to us and telling us what the plans are, to the extent, of course, that you can. This is truly heartening to hear.
It's my pleasure, ma'am. It's such a pleasure and honor to be in DRDO and win the trust of 1.5 billion people, trust of our armed forces, and all the blessings from our entire top, that we are delivering our best, and we were going to take this India to the top in the defense technology. That's the mission, one team, billion dreams. That's DRDO is all about.